Welcome to Kids Discover Egypt Day 2. My name's Diego Irigoyen, and are you guys excited for Day 2? I can't hear you out there. Are you excited for Day 2? All right, that sounds awesome. This is my co-host Hatshepsut, and today we're gonna be making a temple facade. The word facade is used to describe the outside of the temples or any building. You can use it to describe the outside of any building. Now, this temple here actually holds a secret inside. Can you guess what might be inside this Egyptian temple? It's a mummy. So you guys are gonna learn about how to create this little paper trick where you can hide a mummy inside your temple facade. And at the very end of this video, we're going to join our resident Egyptologist here at the museum, and he's gonna tell us a little bit more about what hides inside these temples. That's right, mummies. We have some mummies here in the museum, and Brian's gonna tell us a little bit more about them. For today's activity, you're just gonna need a few supplies. We're gonna need 2 sheets of the same colored paper. You can use regular printer paper if you want to, or you can use some construction paper on this activity. And then you're gonna need some scissors. You're gonna want a pencil so that you can draw things out ahead of time, and then anything you want to decorate your temple facade you can use. So some markers, colored pencils, anything like that you're allowed to use on this activity. So without further ado, let's jump right into our activity. So today we're gonna be creating a tomb. And so this is my design for my tomb. And inside, we have a mummy. So what you're gonna learn today is one, how to create this paper contraption so that you can hide something inside your tomb. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about the features here on the outside of my tomb. And then you can design your own tomb and what's inside. Okay. So to start off for this project, you need 2 sheets of paper. Ideally, these 2 sheets of paper need to be the same color and the same size. Actually have to be the same color and the same size. And then, after that, all you'll need are some scissors, so for this project you need 2 sheets of paper, scissors, and then some markers or color pencils, whatever you would like to decorate your activity with. So we'll start off with the paper. And the first thing you need to do is you need to fold the paper into quarters. So we're going to fold it in half. We're going to fold them both together in half. Just like that. And then we're going to fold it in half again. Just like that. And you're going to want to make them. So now we have, when we open it up, 4 different sections. And then you're going to take one of these and you're going to cut them on the fold. And I would cut them just a little bit inside the fold. Not right on it, but just a little bit inside. So we have 1 strip there. And then I'm going to cut another strip here. And again, just a little bit inside, not right on the fold, just a little bit inside. Okay, so now we have 2 strips of paper. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of these and fold it in half. Top down, so fold it in half, and then again fold it in half. Now we're going to use this to measure. So here I have the other sheet. We're going to fold this sheet in half, just like this. And then we're going to take this, and with our pencil now, we're just going to use light lines. Create some light lines, and then go up along that line, and again, a light line, and then up, and just a light line, just like that. Okay, now what we need to do is take again our scissors and cut along these lines. Okay, so now we can open it up, and we have these two things. And we can open up our measuring sheet again, and then you're going to take the first sheet, and it's going to go under this piece here, and then it's going to go behind this top one here. Just like that. And then the next one is going to start underneath here. And it's going to slide up and then go under the next strip. So it's going to weave in. And if it doesn't fit, you see how this one doesn't fit all the way? You need to cut it just a little bit on the inside so that's a little bit thinner. So we're just going to take a little sliver off all the way down. Okay, so just a little piece. And then we're going to go under, over the next slide, under the next one, and then out the top, just like that. So now, we're going to want to flatten out all of our creases. So, you push up from the center and pull from these folded edges here out. And when you do that, it's going to reveal the inside. So again, once you have it open, flatten out those creases nice, and then you close it. And when you close it, you see these two outsides of the paper, you just pull them out, and then here's the outside. So I'm just going to do some marks so you can see. Here, I'm going to say outside, right outside, and we can erase this later. So there's outside, and then push together. So you push from the two outsides, you push the center point, center crease up towards you, and then you put your thumb, one thumb on this fold here, another thumb on this fold here, and then you pull those edges out. And then you have the inside. So in here, I'm just going to write in. So here's the inside, close it, here's the outside. So again, push in, and then thumbs to the center, and you pull the two center weaves out, and this is the inside. So out here, you will do your tomb design, and then in here, you will draw your mummy. So in this design here, you see we have these pillars. I know they kind of look like palm trees, but they're not palm trees. They're actually pillars. And then here at the top, we have this design that looks like a plant. And the Egyptians would do these pillars. It was very common architecture for them. They would have these pillars with these kind of plant-like designs at the very top of them. The other common design Egyptians had for their tombs was this trapezoid-like shape where it tapers up. It's not quite a triangle. There's a flat top, but it kind of goes in like a triangle, and a flat bottom. And then here on the outside we have these two giant statues, and these are just like the statues that King Ramses would have outside of his tombs. So what I would recommend for your design is these two outside spaces can be a nice spot for pillars. So you can put your pillars there, and then here you can do your tomb design. And again, we can reference our handout from last time and look at some of the elements. Maybe some of these designs you would like to use to decorate your pillars or to decorate your tomb. And the outside of a building like this is called façade. This is the facade of the building. So you're going to be working on the facade of your building, and then once all that is done, on the inside, you're going to have your mummy. So I'm doing all of the kind of outline drawings of my structure here, and I recommend that you use a pencil or something kind of lighter in color. I'm just using a gray color pencil here for this part because you don't want to make any mistakes and not be able to get rid of them. And the other thing is that it could be a little difficult to draw with these different sheets of paper. So just be aware of that and go slow, be careful, and take your time, and you'll have a better time that way. Okay, so I got that. Put the door on my tomb down here. There we go. So your weaves are definitely going to move a little bit as you're working on this, so just be aware of that. And you can always move them back in place and put your lines where they're supposed to go. And then once you kind of have your general design done, you can add some color. Okay, now that you have your outside of your tomb decorated, you're gonna push it up again from the center. Push it up from the center, and then your thumbs are gonna grab the folded weaves and you pull those sides out to reveal what's inside. So again, we wrote in earlier to show you. So I'll do that one more time so you can see it. So you push up from the center, and then with your thumbs you grab the weaved edges and pull that out. And then inside here we're going to draw our mummy. Okay, my tomb is all done, and inside we have a mummy, and he's holding a crook and a flail, which means he was a royal mummy.
Hello, my name is Brian Kramer. I work as a research Egyptologist at the Robert and Frances Fullerton Museum of Art on the California State University San Bernardino campus. And today I'm going to present to you votive mummies as part of a discussion of the background of the activities in the Kids Discover Egypt activity set. So if you've been following the activity set, then you have had the opportunity to make a model of a temple, an ancient Egyptian temple, with a mummy set inside of the temple that's hidden away. And this is actually not a foreign idea to what the ancient Egyptians did, because they made models of mummies too, and they hid them in secret places. And if you come to the exhibit, when it's open, again, you may see this display case, which is an example of one of these hidden mummies. Now, they don't necessarily go together, but this is a typical connection of a statue like this with a little mummy on its side. Now, the statue is has a special name that we call it a Ta-Sokar Osiris statue, and that's a very long group of gods' names, and that's probably who's being depicted. Actually, he's named in the text as Ta-Sokar Osiris. And if you see, the statue is one piece of wood inserted in a board, and on the end we've placed a statue of a bird that's not authentic, but other statues like that would have originally been there. It could be a bird, or it could be a little coffin. And When you remove the bird, there's a cavity inside for a secret object that you could put in there. And in a few examples that have been found in tombs, the thing found inside is a wad of mummified material, such as that kind of mummy right there. Now, we call this a corn mummy. It's not necessarily an example of a corn mummy per se. It's kind of an example of an embalmed model of a mummy. And it was made frequently in ancient Egyptian burials out of the bits of the body that fell off. So making a mummy is a complicated procedure, and you don't always do it very cleanly. There's a lot of stuff left over. There's especially juice, and fingers fall off, toes fall off, things fall off all the time. So what do you do with that? Well, one of the ways to fix that was embalm it separately and place it in the burial in wherever you can manage it. This is one of the things that they did with that. Other things that they did with that were they stamped an image of a god out of that material, or they'd wrap it up separately. So the image of the mummy inside of the temple is in fact an idea that could have worked in ancient Egypt pretty well. So I'm going to show you now, over here, a similar idea that you've almost certainly heard about if you've studied ancient Egypt before, and that is the canopic jars. So we have the 4 canopic jars of an individual whose name is translated as the general, Mesha. And he has his name inscribed with a magical text on each of the canopic jars. They consist of a jar with a hollow inside, and then a cap made in the shape of one of the sons of Horus, the 4 gods who protected your body parts. They protected parts of the tomb, but especially the organs of your body. We have Hapi, we have the god named Hapi, we have the god named Kabesenueth, we have the god named Imseti, and the god named Duamutef, in that order. And they are the sons of the god Horus. They are protectors for the buried. At this period of time, when these were made, they weren't necessarily actually taking the organs out of the body and putting them in canopic jars. They actually may have just included these as something that people have always been doing, but they didn't remove the organs per se. Although originally, that's what they were doing. They were taking the organs out of the body and placing them in the corresponding canopic jars. So Hapi gets the lungs, Kabesenueth gets the stomach, Imseti gets the liver, and Kabesenueth gets the intestines. These are all the parts of the body that if you leave inside, they will lead to it rotting really quickly. So you want to get them out. But you don't throw them away. You don't throw anything away from a mummy. You put them in the tomb in special containers. And so those are the ideas that are behind why you would make a little votive statue or something in the shape of a mummy that might have gone along with the real mummy with you into your tomb.